What up, y'all? What up, y'all? Thank y'all. Thank y'all. We are here. We are here. Incense and ashtrays. Roll up and listen. Music talk for your ass. Where we bring you the stories from the artists themselves. You know how it is. Y'all know how I am, me being Dewan. I like the story to be told right and accurate. And so I created this program because I got tired of watching music documentaries and all they talk about is the artist's drug habit and them losing all their money at some point. We here to talk about the music and to talk about what went into the music and the story behind the music. So yeah, please check out my last interview I had with Mr. Bobby Rush, the legendary blues guitarist. In a couple weeks, I got my Auntie M coming on, Mortonette Jenkins. She sang background. We're gonna answer the question finally. What were they saying on "Wanna Be Starting Something" by Michael Jackson? Because there's been a debate coming out where they saying "Mama say, Mama sa, Mama sa tu sta." People are saying they saying something else. Well, I got the woman who actually sang that line for Michael Jackson, and she sang behind Elton John, Stevie Wonder. She still sings with the Eagles. I got her coming on in a couple weeks to tell her story. But today, I got a brother that personally I'm a fan of. Huge fan. Like I just told him, he wrote the soundtrack. He was a major part of the soundtrack of my 30s. From Jill Scott, Anthony Hamilton, Anderson Paak, Jasmine Sullivan. And y'all know, anybody who follow me on Instagram know I saw Jasmine Sullivan twice at the Hollywood Bowl back in 2019. He did all kind of dope shit, and his own albums is the shit. I want y'all to welcome my guest, Mr. Jairus Mozee. What up,
What's
man?
poppin'? What's poppin', y'all? What's poppin'?
Man, I'm so happy to have you on here, man.
It's all good, man. I just want to put this out there because I know my name is a weird ass name, but just everybody is Jairus Mozee. It's Jairus. It's just like you saying Paris with a J. You know what I'm
Okay,
saying?
Paris. Okay,
Yeah, yeah,
Jairus.
yeah,
I've been saying
yeah.
Jairus. My bad. I've been saying that. I've been saying that shit in my head for like 7, 8 years. When I've been seeing you on the
I already
credits.
know. It's all good. It's a weird ass name. So, I just gotta clarify that for everybody and shit. Every time I do something. But it's all good.
No, I get it. My name is Dewan. With two
Yeah.
N's. Come on, dog. Be all the time. Dwayne? Dwayne? No, it's Dewan.
Damn.
Dewan, homie. I get you,
Right?
brother.
Yeah. It's all good.
Man. So yeah, for those who don't know, Jairus is a Grammy Award winning artist. And I want to jump right into it. I'm gonna talk a little bit about some of the work that you've done with other people, but I also want to get into your work because me personally, I think that you're one of the saviors of sound. You're one of the saviors of soul. You know, soul is one of the, I don't play with soul. I don't play with funk. Either you got it or you don't. I don't like when someone just plays a note on the one and they say, "Yeah, that's soul." No, it's not, nigga. You are someone who actually are soul. So I want to get
Yeah, I
into your stuff
appreciate it,
too.
man.
You know, but let's start off with you work with Prince.
Yeah, yeah. I got to work with him, man. I got to work with him when I was young too. I was actually 17 years old in high school. I was going to Long Beach Poly, and that was, man, one of the most blessed times of my life. Man, it was like a dream, like walking around in a dream, bro.
So were you rehearsing with him at the house, that Carlos Boozer's house that he was written out, that purple
Yeah,
one?
it was Carlos Boozer house. So basically, I was a young dude around Long Beach, LA, doing my thing in the church and different little things, little gigs and whatnot. And I ran into this guitar player named Tim Stewart, and he was actually like playing for Sheila E. Prince, doing a whole bunch of shit in the industry. And he took me under his wing. He liked how I was playing and stuff and doing my thing. And he seen that, I could handle it. Shit. I didn't know I could handle it at the time, but he saw it. And he offered me the audition. He was like, Prince needs somebody to come play for his house parties. Da, 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 da. They're having an audition. Like right now, I'll come pick you up. He picked me up, took me up to center staging. Frank McComb was playing keys at the time. He
Yeah.
was the music director. Yep. Cora Coleman was on drums, and her husband, Josh Dunham, was playing bass. So I walk in, all top tier cats, You know what I'm saying? And I'm just a little kid from Long Beach with some Chucks, some Dickies, you know what I'm saying, a pro club, you know what I mean? And walk in there and I did my thing and they recorded me on tape. And they said Prince liked it. They called me the next day. They was like, we're going to be sending cars to pick you up and go to rehearsal. So I was rehearsing with Prince during the week. And then on the weekends, we would do all the parties. So we would do like 2-3 parties a weekend sometimes. And yeah, sometimes I get random calls. They'd be like, Prince wants you to come to the house. And I had to find a way to get a ride to get up there. Sometimes I'll bring my homies with me. And you know what I'm saying? It was dope like that, you know? It was real cool. You know, we was partying with Oprah, Angela Bassett, and just all these people that you see on TV and all that. I was getting to just be around them at a young age. You know what I'm saying?
Man, that's
yeah, man,
dope. I've heard Frank McComb tell them stories about those rehearsal those, and like y'all be up rehearsing till like 6 a.m. some night. I heard Prince can go all night.
Bro, the parties themselves. So I remember like literally having to leave like a couple times, and they would still be going, and I had to go to school. So it'll be like 6:37 in the morning, you know, and they would still be going hard at like 7 in the morning, and I'd be like, yo, I got school. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So my mom was like, nigga, you got to go to school. You can do all that shit, but nigga, go to school. You know what I'm saying? But I knocked that out. But yeah, the shows and the rehearsals themselves used to go to like, we'll start at like, I'll be getting there late, and they'll be already started like 12 or whatever. I'll get there like 2 or 3, and we'll still go to like 2 in the morning or 3 in the morning or some shit. You know what I'm saying?
See,
so it was just a weird, crazy time. I was getting paid. It was fast. It was surreal. It was like a dream. It was moving fast, real fast.
You know what's the interesting thing that to me is because when I hear your music is so developed, it's layered. It's what a lot of music doesn't have today. And you have crescendos, decrescendos, you have dynamic. Like, oh shit, this motherfucker playing with dynamics. Somehow I don't hear that much anymore. That makes sense with you getting that kind of a knowledge in church first. Because we all know what church music do. Church music be all over the place with it. And then having that, basically you got fertilized by Prince. And that, like, what's the impact that you've had on that? How has that impacted your career, in your opinion? The way you see it,
man.
And your playing ability.
That a few times. Man, that it prepared me. It made me not be starstruck. You know what I'm saying? So just imagine like growing up, you know, in the church. You know, Prince was kind of like a no. You know what I'm saying? Everybody like
world music.
He's a weirdo. Yeah. Like growing up, Prince was always nah. So, anyways, me looking at Prince coming into it. That's how I think I got it, because I wasn't looking at him as starstruck. You know what I'm saying? Because I didn't grow up on his music like that. So that's what kind of opened up my gates to, you know, the world. I'm at his house. I'm meeting Oprah. I'm meeting, you know, Questlove. I'm meeting Bootsy Collins and all these different people. And to me, it was just like, oh, I'm meeting these people and characters, you know, that I knew from growing up, but I wasn't starstruck. So it prepared me to go into any room growing up, and I can talk to anybody, and, you know, we could talk on a level of like real people instead of just like me being starstruck at you and try to cater to somebody. And I can really tell them how I feel, and, you know, we can talk on a level of real personality and, you know, or some adult shit. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it did for me, mainly mentally. And then like playing wise, it definitely put me in a space where, because he was always talking about space.
Oh yeah?
You know, that was his, you know what I mean? That's his main thing. Yeah. He's like, bro, we'll be in the middle of playing and he'll come up and whisper little shit into different people's ear. And I noticed that mainly he was saying the same thing every time he would do that. He would say, give it space. That was his main thing, to whisper into somebody's ear. Give it space. Stop playing so much. You know what I mean? So that was one of the main things I learned from him. He would show you a part, and you would have to lay out for however many seconds. Just play that part. That's your part, nigga. Like, stick to that.
Yeah.
and let everybody else do their shit. So I learned that, you know what I mean, at a young age. So yeah, man, that was like my college.
Yeah, that had to be, because like when you think about it, that's what made Bootsy so great, being around your same age when he got with James Brown. And James Brown would tell him, you know, because when you listen to that James Brown, it's and it's just everyone is playing, and sometimes people in the audience, the casual fan, will look up and see the guitar player just doing this little one thing, but they don't understand that that's the mustard on a sandwich.
That's it. Yeah.
You know. So yeah,
the drummer got the bread, and the you know what I mean.
Yeah.
The bass player got the meat. You know what I mean.
Yeah.
So
that's one thing I learned. Like as a drummer, I'm a pocket drummer. You know, I'm a proud pocket drummer. I ain't doing all that extra shit. But I learned like really young. Huh?
I got a brother that say that same thing. He been saying that to this day.
I ain't doing it because like when I was playing in church at a young age, in my teen years, our music director, his father was Skip Scarborough. And you know, Skip Scarborough wrote "Giving You the Best That I Got," "Love's Holiday." He has decades of hits that he wrote. Damn. And when I was 16, he told me we had like something at the church, and he came. And we didn't talk much, but the one thing he did say was, he said, if you just listen to Funkadelic and learn that pocket, you'll always have work. All that extra stuff you doing, no one's ever going to pay you to do that as a drummer. So at the age of 16, I learned, like, just play my part.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's it, man.
And that's a life principle. Play your part.
Period, man. Period. It's about balance. Life is about balance.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it ain't all about you.
So I want to get into some of the work that you've done. This interview, I'm gonna be selfish, y'all. Y'all want y'all to check out Jairus's profile. He works with a lot of people that y'all like. But I'm going to focus on the people that I like that he worked with. I like them all. But the brothers worked with like some of our, you know how you have your top 5 of any era or of the current era of this year, your favorite song of that year? This brother happened to be on my favorite song of certain years that I'm like, hold on, you was on Giving You the Best of Me by Anthony Hamilton? Nigga, to me, that's one of the greatest songs ever put together. Talk to us about working with Anthony Hamilton and your part in what you did with him.
So that me and Anthony go back to right after Prince. I got an opportunity to play guitar for Anthony. This was right after high school, and shout out to David Balfour, his keyboard player. He was in Long Beach at a church, and he heard me play. He was like, man, and he just so happened to be his MD. He was like, man, I'm gonna take you on the road with Anthony. So he got me on the road with him for I was playing the guitar for Anthony for maybe 2 or 3 years, maybe about a year and a half, 2 years. But so that was my introduction to Anthony. So later on, I started working with BJ the Chicago Kid, who was one of Anthony's background singers at the time. So we was working on BJ's album Pineapple Now and Laters, and they was hearing my tracks that I was doing for BJ. You know what I'm saying? So word started getting around, J-Mo did this, da-da-da. And then finally Anthony was working on his, I think it was his 3rd album. He was like, yeah, I'm going to fly you out to come do some tracks for my, come do some writing. So I flew out there. Basically, Anthony, that session, I'm going to be 100% honest with you how I felt about it. Anthony was not feeling that song. You know what I'm saying? We did at first the first day I got out there, we did a couple songs, and then we played them back, and he was like, man, you sound like you in love. He said, I want to do something more upbeat. He old school, how he talk. He real cutthroat.
Yeah.
So, man, you sound like you in love. I need some more upbeat, more rugged or whatever. I wasn't feeling like that at the time. I had just got with my baby moms and, you know what I'm saying, my daughter's mom, and I was feeling real good, like real major chordish.
It's a very celebratory song, yeah.
Exactly. So I remember the day we had woke up and that shit was on my mind. What he was telling me, he was like, I want an up tempo. So I'm like, I'm not really feeling the minor chords, but I'm feeling the up tempo. So the first thing that I thought of, I had a conversation with BJ that night before, and he was like, man, He said, you can't miss with that 4 on the floor type shit. He was like that beat that's boom,
Yeah.
boom, boom, boom,
Drives.
boom. Because BJ had a song at the time called Pimp Harder.
Yeah.
If y'all go look that up, he had a song way back called Pimp Hard. And that was like his hit. It was just like that. It was boom, 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 boom. Same beat, but I took it and played it on the drums, on the live drums, as soon as I got there. And I just built around that. So I did the beat first. Then I did the acoustic guitar chords. I put the bass. Then I put the piano. And that was pretty much it. And when the bridge came around, he was like, man, when he was writing it, basically he wrote that song in about 10, 15 minutes. You know what I'm saying? Real quick. He wasn't feeling that because he was hearing the major chords, I realized. He wanted minor chords. So he was like, man, this is too happy. Da, 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 da. He got right through it, wrote right through it. He didn't even write it. He just went in the booth and just cut it. You know what I'm saying? We get to the bridge. He was like, man, these chords are too pretty. I can't even say nothing over this. I'm going to just say, and then, dude, when I tell you that song was done in about an hour max from me doing the track to him coming to the studio and writing it, it was done. You know what I'm saying? And then, so that song washed away, bro. Trust me, I was there for another week. We did another 10, 15 songs. You know what I'm saying? So time go by. I'm thinking some of the other songs was going to, get through. They ended up picking that one later on. And, it did what it did, man. You know what I'm saying? So but at first he was sleeping on that song, man. He was not feeling that song at all.
Man, that's one of my favorite songs done over the last 20 years. Easily.
Man.
And it got a feeling to it. It's got that feeling. And so yeah, and Anthony Hamilton, hell, I Can't Stay Away From You Too Long. That's the song my wife chose for our wedding. So that brother right there, So yeah, you did that, and then you worked with literally my favorite band of all time, Earth, Wind and Fire. And this album to me, being an Earth, Wind and Fire junkie, was great. A lot of casuals didn't pick up on it because they hear people, an old band doing something new. They're like, nah. I'm going to tell y'all right now, and y'all going to hear a lot of Earth, Wind and Fire on my Incense and Ashtray Spotify playlist of my Soul Funk list. Earth, Wind and Fire, all their albums, I love every one of their albums, especially in the 70s. The album that you worked on, Now, Then, Forever, and then you worked on the first album without Maurice White, because even their last album, he was still in the studio a little bit. And you worked on my favorite song on the album, Love Is Law. To me, that song, In Love We Give, In Love Receive, the lyrics, that is Earth, Wind and Fire. And to me personally, that's the best Earth, Wind and Fire album since Faces.
That's what's up.
Talk to me about working with Earth, Wind, and Fire, especially with Maurice, for their first time without Maurice White.
Man, you know what? This is one of the, few occasions where I never got a chance to meet the artist. You know what I'm saying? So I was working with the producer, J.R. Hudson. I don't know if a lot of people know his dad was Leroy Hudson. He was a, artist in the 70s and all that. But JR was working on some stuff. He would always call me to, write. And we ended up in that same session doing some tracks that ended up on Jill Scott and Earth, Wind, and Fire. So I just got the call like later on, you know what I'm saying? But
okay.
We had worked on the music, a few ideas. And man, that's how a lot of my stuff come, man. I'll work with somebody and somebody else will land it. You know what I mean? And give me a call and be like, hey man, we got a song with da-da-da-da. Like that's how my last song, I got a song with Nicki Minaj. And I really don't even personally like her music or her, but I got a song with her.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's how stuff be happening, because when you collab with different producers, you know how it goes. Yeah.
I love those producer stories, man. Like I'm still trying to get my father-in-law to interview. He hasn't done it yet. Man, because he produced everything Lionel Richie and Motown and stuff, and I want to get those stories on wax. But he just like, nah, all right, whatever.
Man.
The producers be having the stories.
You already know.
Man, because it's like that, man, when it comes to music. And I'm gonna segue to that because you mentioned her name. Jill Scott, to me, Jill Scott and Erykah Badu, they belong up there in the with all the soul singers. When we talk about Shaka Khan, Anita Baker, Gladys Knight, they're in that lineage. You worked on 3 of her albums?
Yeah, man, through J.R. Hudson, and through Andre Harris from Dre and Vidal. So that's how, like I said, man, a lot of these producers, the top-notch producers, they need somebody to come in and help them with the melodies and the chords before the artists even come in. You know what I mean? So they can have something that's to a certain level, because a lot of the times they can't do everything. You know what I mean? With, the mind capacity to create the best drum pattern and the best chords takes a lot. So that's I'm like the ringer, and they call me in for the chords and the melodies, and that's how I got a lot of those, man. That's how I got the Jill Scott through J.R. Hudson, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, man, that's dope, man. Because and when it comes to that, her music, her sound is what kept soul alive to get to your era. Because
man, I'm not to cut you off, but I feel blessed to be a part. Just like you're saying, what I think a lot, because I think I'm a part of the bridge that was like from the neo soul era to now. You know what I'm saying? And helping keeping it alive now. I'm still young. You know what I mean? I'm not old as hell. I'm still in my 30s, so I feel like I'm a part of all that. Like
you are. And I always say this: if I ever had a chance to talk to Jill Scott, Erykah Badu, Maxwell, Music Soul Child, D'Angelo, Raphael Sadiq, another person you work with, these were the bridge, because bands were dead. I was born in '81, and I remember when Tony came around the same time as Mid Condition. There were no bands when the White Paper Report hit. For those who don't know, I've done shows on that. That's another story. But when they purposely took live music out of music after 1979, there was this time where everything became very plastic. And it was Tony, and Mid Condition that sort of kept the bands alive for a little bit. And then when it came to authentic live music, not overly produced, not sampled, real singers, Erykah Badu, Jill Scott, that era from 97 till about 2010 really kept that alive. And then that allowed you to come in, and then behind you, Anderson Paak and those guys who are bringing it back to the mainstream. So you're a major part of that link that kept real music alive.
It's a blessing, man. I'm blessed to be a part of it, man. That's all I can say.
Because, and I'm going to get to some more people that he's worked with, but I just got to say this right here. Y'all got to go back, because you know how it is when you miss out on an album, you feel dumb as hell? Because I was on San Pedro. I was on San Pedro when that shit dropped. But I did not know about the Elevator album.
Oh, yeah, man. That was my first little baby album, man, when I was, the album is almost 10 years old, probably more than that now, but yeah, man, that was my first project. I decided to put something together for the people, and that's what came out, bro. My little apartment in Long Beach, I did that one.
Man, look, I'm gonna tell you this: I can't never call nothing little about this album. That song, "Let Go," Catalina, Fresh, and I like the whole album, but there's 4 songs on that album that I had to just like. You listen to the whole album, this song you got to repeat 6-7 times. Especially if you on a mushroom trick, you dig? That Catalina, I mean, this is real goddamn music. When people, that's why I tell, when they say music is dead, no the fuck it ain't. It just ain't on the radio.
Exactly. It's not promoted enough. It's not on the same level promotion-wise. It's there, though. It's right there.
When I listen to this album, that's on the level of anything that's come out over the last 20 years. From anybody.
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it, for real.
And y'all know me. Y'all know my people that listen to my show. Y'all know I do not pull punches when it comes to music. I'm very serious about this thing. So if it was some bullshit, I just like I talk shit and I don't pull punches if it's bad. When it's right and done this right, man. I ain't got nothing but good things and love and respect to say about it, man. So, like I say, the music itself appreciates you, man.
Man, I appreciate y'all, man. And all the listeners and everybody that helps support, man, and keeps the positivity going. That's what it comes down to, positive energy, man.
Talk to me about working with Raphael Saadiq.
Man. So that's like, for me, that's a check off my list. You know what I mean? Top 5 artists you want to work with. Dude is he's his own character. You know what I mean? He got his own thing, and you can tell his mind is always working. You know what I'm saying? So it's like playing. He reminds me of somebody that plays chess. Like, I play chess, and you can tell like he's moving steps ahead when he's thinking or about to say something, or you know what I'm saying. So that's what I get from him, man. He was one of my favorites, bro. He's just nostalgic with his sound, and he's just like me. I used to think the same way. I'm like, as soon as I was thinking, I'm like, somebody should make an album that sounds exactly from the 60s or 70s. As soon as I saw it, it was like maybe like a month or two later, he came out with it. So I'm like, oh, okay, we on the same wave.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And then eventually, through Charlie Burrell, that's how I met Raphael. I had met him in the past, but recently we kind of clicked up over the past few years. We've been writing and, you know what I mean, and in the studio vibing and stuff. So it's been cool, man. I've been learning. It's like every time I'm around him, that's probably I'm not starstruck, but I'm definitely a student. You know what I mean? Like, I turn into a student, and I'm like just trying to hear everything he's trying to say, everything he put out. You know what I mean? So
yeah, same here. When he came out with that, album based off it, basically, like I said, in the '60s, I was like, okay, yeah. And I always say, if I ever got a chance to talk to the brother, I need Raphael Saadiq to come with an album that's based in 1976. On the One, just
yeah. I think that's gonna come. Come.
If anybody can pull that off, him and you mentioned Charlie Burrell. Charlie a funky motherfucker.
Yeah,
him, Charlie, y'all in the soup.
That's a good idea, man. You might see that coming. Shit, we might have to make that happen.
I've been saying that because I went to Essence Fest the year Raphael Saadiq was out there with that album. I think it was 2010, 2011. He opened up Essence Fest. And I had met him before, like just in walking. He would never remember. But I was like, man, if I ran across him, I was like, I need something from 1976 from you.
Man.
Because who else is going to represent 76 right than him?
That's a good idea. Him or D'Angelo.
Oh, yeah.
For real.
We on the same wavelength. I was thinking D'Angelo, the same thing. Because when you listen to what they do.
Top favorite artist, man. D'Angelo he's crazy. He's crazy.
Like I say, man, I think when D'Angelo made that Voodoo album, he was eating oxtails and cornbread.
Man.
and
with dug deep for that motherfucker. They dug deep for that shit. Yep, for sure.
Man. So and you also worked with Lettucey and Jasmine Sullivan. I've always said I see Lettucey and Jasmine Sullivan in that upper echelon of all time great singers. I always say the music industry felt those sisters because back in the 70s, you get those voices matched up with Hayes and Porter, matched up, with those top level Gambling Huff, matched up with a real heavy live sound. Those sisters, they've gotten thrown into a lot of their music. It's kind of had, unfortunately for me, just as a listener, I still love them regardless. That sort of those melodic, beautiful, powerful voices on plastic sounds that don't really support what they can belt out. Right. So you work with them on some real shit. How was that, man?
Man, that's one of my goals. Exactly what you're saying, man. I hear a lot of these artists trying to conform to what's going on right now as far as the frequency of the highs and the auto-tune and certain drums. So they like, everybody gotta have, my drums gotta be knocking, and all your drums don't gotta be knocking all the time. You know what I'm saying? They don't have to be extra crispy and all that. Sometimes you just gotta lay a bed, a beautiful bed with a bedding and a bedspread, so somebody can lay on it. You know what I mean? So working with them, I was fortunate enough to be in the studio with them on this one. Anderson actually plugged me with Jasmine. She came to my studio. I ain't gonna lie, I was a little nervous because I never met her, and we clicked though when she came in there. You know what I'm saying? I started playing tracks, and yeah, she vibed to about 3 or 4 of them. You know what I mean? And got busy. When she first sung it, I was thrown off. It's like, damn, you gonna go there with it? I didn't know she was gonna go all the way there with it, but
Yeah.
hey, that's where you at with it. All I can do is try to enhance what you do and help you, get to your goal. So, and it ended up being good, for her. So, that one, and then Legacy, man, we was in the studio vibing. We came up with Anything for You, man, and that was with a producer named Rex Rideout.
Mm-hmm.
Legendary producer, and we was just in there vibing, man. We was like, she was saying she wanted to do a slow jam, and on some D'Angelo type shit, and that's what I channeled at the moment.
Okay.
The chord changes, and that's what I channeled from her, and just put it down, bro.
Like,
that's pretty much.
I've always wanted to see Legacy, Jasmine Sullivan, Layla Hathaway. I want to hear their voices with a live band, strings.
Yeah.
And if I can't get a full choir, at least get me like some good strong background singers that can, because what that's gonna do to them. It's gonna make them just.
Man, trust me. I know, man, because that's what I dedicated. I ain't gonna say my whole production style. I definitely use, program drums here and there, and I stay up to date, but I like to keep live instrumentation in there because that's what keeps it to where, you can literally play it any year from now and you're going to be able to still listen to it. You know what I mean? I think the more machines you use, the more dates you put on your music. So that's pretty much it. That's how I think about it. And then the instruments make everything kind of timeless because you can go back and grab anything from Beethoven and all that right now, and you can still grab it and sample it and use it right now.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Certain music, you can't really grab it if it got too many like instruments and not instruments, but mechanical
sounds.
Instruments. Yeah, like that type of stuff like going on. You can't really sample it. So I'm going on about the shit, but yeah.
No, that's good information because I always say live music is the heart. They call it an organ. What do you have inside of you? Organs.
Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
You pull someone's heartstrings.
Exactly.
Your heartbeat is a drum.
Yeah.
So that live music instrumentation communicates to us on a level that we don't quite understand in our mind.
Yep.
And
you don't understand it, man.
And I always said, like, Howard Hewitt had a great career in the 80s. But unfortunately, all of his music had an 80s sound.
Got a date on it.
So it left his music in the 80s.
Yeah.
Versus when you go back to those Luther Vandross, Marcus Miller, when they were together. Luther Vandross still made good music in the 90s, but when he was with Marcus Miller with that live sound.
Yeah, exactly. I know exactly what you're talking about because it's hard to crack through some music from the 80s that can play. No slight to anybody from the 80s, but
None.
There was a lot of machinery going on and mechanical things that, it just really didn't last for me. I like the 70s and the 60s.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? That shit, that music, I could play that shit to this day. You know what I mean? It's just amazing. It's amazing.
Same here, man. Most of my listening is from back then because I need that richness. You know what I mean? I'm gonna get into one more artist that you work with. Then I want to get into your newest EP, San Pedro. You work with my favorite artist of today, as far as that's getting radio play and Anderson Paak. To me, I'm proud of that because I remember when, like, my wife used to go to these parties, local parties around here, and this cat named Breezy Lovejoy was the one on the music. Yeah. Now, this motherfucker done wrote Oxnard and Ventura, and I mean music that I just can listen to all day. Talk to me about working with Anderson Paak.
So, man, this dude, he's one of them dudes, man, you don't know what's going to happen next. Like, he's always moving. Just like I said about about Raphael. He's a chess player. So like you'll say one thing to him, and then he'll be thinking like 4 or 5 other things ahead of that. You know what I'm saying? And then by the time you get done, you be like, damn, like you took it there. So I can even say like a few times we was working, and literally we went to Mexico one time, like kind of on a vacation work trip, and everything we did throughout that day, he put it in the song somehow, some little phrase from that day, but it didn't like it necessarily that wasn't the song.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It was just weird. Like I'm like, this motherfucker just took when we was at the pool swimming and then put that in the song. Like, you know, it's just one little quick little lick, you know what I mean? Little lyric, or it's just like, damn, this motherfucker really just, you know how you meet people, you don't think they thinking like that? It's like, damn, this motherfucker's really a genius. You know what I'm saying? So that's how it is working with him, man. It's just like we bouncing off, just having fun. We're really like the same type of motherfucker, but I'm more reserved than him. Mm-hmm. But when I get around him, man, it's like 2 kids in a fucking candy store, bro, just going crazy in the studio, man. Just having a good time. Man,
to write a song like "You Doing Way Too Much," when that hook line, "Sit your ass down," like that's what to me when I heard that shit, I was like, and he made my girl, he made Layla Hathaway sound like a queen again with that live sound. Man, she just, I love that song. When the way she floated up out of that, I'm like, man, that's man. So I know,
that motherfucker's bad, bro. He cold with it, man, and with the like, he one of them type of motherfuckers that'll think of the whole video in the session. You know what I mean? He be like, oh, we gotta do a video like this, and like we're gonna be on the chair, and he'll think the whole video, the whole thing, the whole rollout right there. You know what I mean? And he one of them type of motherfuckers, he ain't gonna leave without getting a song done. Mm-hmm. I done been in studio sessions with motherfuckers, and you be in there all day and nothing gets done. You know what I'm saying? And he one of the people that I noticed that he like, nah, motherfucker, we coming out of here with some heat. You know what I'm saying? Fuck that. So that's why I like fucking with him too.
Which song? I know you want the album of the year, R&B for Ventura. Were there any songs on the album that won anything?
Yep. He won. We won one for the R&B performance. With Andre 3000. Come Home.
Oh, Come Home. Oh, that's my shit.
Yep. Yeah, and that was another one where I was fortunate to be a part of it. Where he called me, and I fucking lost my mind when he told me Andre 3000. You know what I'm saying? Got on the fucking song. Like he said Andre went through all the beats of the album, you know, other beats that he played for him and stuff. And he just liked that one. And it was this part I remember in the studio when I played it, I was like, man, this shit kind of weird, but fuck it. I remember thinking that, like, man, fuck it. This shit weird as fuck. Because it was like it's like a 3-bar phrase of what he's rapping on top of.
Yes.
You know, if you go back and listen to it, it's a 3-bar phrase instead of a 4-bar. So I was like, man, fuck it, I'm gonna do some weird shit. Fuck it. And I remember thinking that and doing it. Like, I hope they gonna like this shit. And then fucking Andre 3000 raps on that motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? So,
that's what's up.
Yeah, that's what I learned too, man. I'm like, man, fuck it. I like taking chances in the studio, man. Fuck it.
You say you take chances in the studio, huh?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
That's what's up, man. You have to. Like that's where the beauty comes in. Because that song, Come Home, I remember before the album came out, one of my homeboys who actually turned me on to Anderson Paak about 5-6 years ago, he just put up a tweet. It said, this nigga Anderson Paak got 3,000 on the track. I can't wait for it to drop. I was like, what? And so, with that being the first song on the album, I mean, that just lets you know the rest of this album is just going to be the shit.
Right.
Man, what song did you work on Oxnard? Because a lot of people, some people, I can't trust anybody who ever tripped on Oxnard. That album was goddamn great.
I'll be saying the same thing. I think people just, you know how people are, man. Like, it was just one of those, it was the timing of it. And I think because it had something to do with, like, I don't know, it was his first commercial album or something. Mm-hmm. But I think the shit is knocking. I ain't gonna lie. Especially when I heard it in the studio, I was like, man, this shit is incredible, man. Like, but I worked on the first song on Oxnard. I can't.
The first, not Head Low. Head Low's the second song.
It's right. Yes, the intro. It's the actual intro. I can't fucking.
The Chase.
The Chase.
I love that shit.
I worked on the Chase and the song that he got with Pusha T. You know what I'm saying? That was
Yeah.
another one where I got a call. He was like, man, I got Pusha T on the verse. I'm like, what, nigga? Like, we got a song with Pusha T? Like,
Man.
what? Yeah, man. I was fortunate to work on that. The Chase came about. We was like watching like fucking because Anderson is like part Asian. I don't know his whole background, but he like a lot of Asian shit. So you walk in his studio, he'll have some Asian movies playing. You know what I'm saying? So that day we was watching like, you know, some Asian shit playing on the TV, and this little melody came on there. You know what I'm saying? Like, we was like, damn, that's kind of cool. But we just flipped what that melody was on there. You know what I'm saying? That's how we built that song out. And we had a homegirl, shout out to Vicky. She played keyboard. She's actually Asian. So that like that sound of that
Yeah.
we got that authentic, you know what I mean? That shit. And I got my boys, the regiment. That was my first time like coaching a horn section. And
okay.
It was just a beautiful time for me, man. He let me spread my wings in that time for sure.
Man, the Chase, I always say, man, that just made me feel like, because it's funny you said that watching the movie, because when I hear it, I feel like going back and watching the early 70s blaxploitation. You jive sucker. That's what I hear when I hear that song come on. I love that song. Yeah. So yeah, now I want to get into more of what your music on in this last EP that you've done, San Pedro. For those of you who haven't heard San Pedro, get off your lazy ass and go ahead and download that shit right now. It's a couple people, because I had already posted on my Instagram. I'm always posting music that I'm listening to, which I'm now putting in the playlist, folks. I got a soul funk list and a jazz soul playlist that I'm curating right now for Instagram for those of you listening, because y'all always want to know what the fuck I'm listening to, and guarantee you, Jairus music is gonna be on that playlist. I put it out, and there's a few people who already downloaded some of your stuff and they love it. Talk to us about San Pedro and how that came about, and why it's named San Pedro.
Man, so basically, man, 2020, like we all went through it. That was one of the worst years of time, period. Mm-hmm. I don't think everybody kind of realized that. That was probably one of the worst times ever, period. Mm-hmm. But so me going through that year, you know, I had a few family members that got sick, and so long story short, man, I had a crazy, you know, I'm gonna just say it, fuck it. I had did DMT, you know what I'm saying? So a lot of people don't know about that.
I want to try that.
Yeah, so I ended up doing it, and I had this revelation of, man, I got to get closer to my family. You know what I'm saying? So something told me, man, get out of Hollywood and move back to your hometown, closer to your mother. You know what I'm saying? So last year, man, I picked up everything. I said, fuck it. And then the pandemic hit. It was like perfect timing, wasn't shit going on. I moved back to Long Beach. You know what I'm saying? So in the meantime, you know, months going by, my mother got sick. She got real sick. You know what I'm saying? And she was in the ICU. She's good now, but that goes to show you that the energy wasn't lying to me. It's like, nigga, get close to your mom, bro. Like, you know, she needs you right now. You know, I'm out in Hollywood doing my thing, blah, blah, blah. But long story short, me moving to Long Beach, I was trying to find like different spots to, you know, just hang out and just, you know, catch a vibe or whatever. And growing up in Long Beach, man, I never really noticed, you know, San Pedro. We never really went over the bridge and went to San Pedro to hang out. So something told me one day, man, just drive over there and just start driving around. So I'm driving around, you know, and I find, you know, they got a couple beaches over there, Cabrillo, White Point, Sunken City, where part of the city actually fell inside of the ocean. So that kind of attracted me. I'm like, damn, the land is kind of talking over there. It's active land.
It be moving for real, for real.
Yeah, it's shifting and moving. Like the last one was like 2 years ago, like some landslide 2 years ago. So I'm like, damn. That attracted me. So I'm going over there. I'm having shroom trips. I'm going over there, coming right back to the house. And then when I come back home, that was what was inspiring me. My views, my listening to the different, you know, Latinos that's around and the music that they're playing. You know, a lot of people don't know the Latino community out here play a lot of old school 50s and 60s black music.
They preserve that sound for us. Yeah, they do.
Exactly. They keep it alive. So they'll be around with the low riders, playing their shit, and that shit inspired me, man. Especially the song Clouds, that got that old school feel. It reminded me of when I was sitting out there seeing them in the low riders.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like, damn, they love our shit, our soul music. So I was just taking that and blending different, Latino rhythms and just blending that shit together, man. That's what I was doing all last year, and that's the project that came out. You know what I mean? So.
Hey, you hit on something right there, because I didn't think about that. That whole San Pedro Palos Verdes Hill is moving. Like, people don't know it, like that area where Tiger Woods had his crash. It's like these huge dips, and it's like the road every couple of years they got to literally remake the road, because it's always shifting and moving, and that's it's a lot of shifting and moving in your music. Your music has a lot of movement in it. Talk to me about the importance of movement in a song.
Man, it's one of the most beautiful things. I think everything could be done as long as you do it in a balance and a simplistic way where people can grasp it. You know what I mean? So it's like a balance of finding what can people grasp and the balance of what do I want to put. Because a lot of the times I'll be overthinking shit, and I want to do just this most immaculate, just crazy thing, and that'll go over. I know for a fact it'll go over a lot of people's heads. So I have to find that balance in between. Yeah. So, what was the question again? I forgot.
The importance of movement in a song. In your music?
Yep. So basically, man, that's it. Like, when you find that balance, you realize when you're doing a song, you're gonna feel like, oh, something should happen right here. You know what I'm saying? So as you're doing it, okay, first verse over, first hook over, maybe we should try something right here. Just a little bridge, something just and then go back to the groove. So that's how I do it, man. I base it off of feeling. So if I feel like, oh man, this gotta go right here where I feel it, I'm like, oh shit. I just hurry up and do it real quick while it's on my mind before I forget. You know what I mean? And that's how I keep it moving, man. That's pretty much it.
One thing you keep bringing up is you follow your feeling, you follow your instincts, and that's something I always like to preach to people out there through my own trials of stopping at some point, trusting myself. You gotta trust yourself, man, and it's people out there that may say, okay, he's taking and then people that criticize me, you take mushrooms, you shouldn't advocate for that. Well, nigga, mind your own goddamn business then.
Don't do it. It's not for them. It's not for them.
Yeah, it's not for you. For me, I used to be like that, but I remember for me, creatively, there was a point at some point that I stopped trusting myself, and I remember when I took some shrooms one time, I literally had because I was asking myself, why am I not clicking like I know I can click? And it's very clear on that trip, nigga, you stopped trusting yourself. And I visually went back to moments in time to where I didn't trust them instincts. And it seemed like every time you think something, whatever you think ain't never doper than whatever you feel.
Right.
Talk to us about the importance of feeling in your music, because you got to put that feeling in it. How important is it, man?
It's important, man. It's the meat and potatoes of the music, man. I think a lot of people get caught up in trying to make something that's already been done, in a format that's already been done. And I think that's where you lose the feeling at. Because, of course you're going to be inspired. You want to, let's do a song like da-da-da-da. But you want to take that and just make something new. Actually tap in and be creative with the chords and change them around a little bit to make something new. You know what I mean? Like, I can't remember who told me this, but it's 12 notes, man. It's only 12 notes. There's only so much we can do with it. But when you think back about all these songs that have been made with 12 notes, you know what I'm saying? Thousands and millions and trillions of songs. Like, you can do the same thing and be great. That's why I coach tell a lot of people, like, man, you can rearrange chords a different way. You don't have to do it the same way that, Earth, Wind, and Fire did it, or Marvin Gaye. You go to a Marvin Gaye song and flip the chords around and change them around and try some new shit. You know what I'm saying? So that's where, I think the feeling comes from, trying new shit and, and respecting the older shit. So you know where it's coming from, and you know, okay, they went there back then. Let me try this though on this part. And so that's why I like people like Bruno Mars. You know what I'm saying? Like that new song he got out, you can tell that shit is the 70s all day.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But the way they arrange the chorus is slightly different than, you know, it's just impeccable to me. That shit is clean as fuck.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you can't hate on it. That's where I think the feeling comes from, man. It's being original. You know what I'm saying? Not trying to copy verbatim. Of course, you're gonna get shit from different people and get inspiration, but try to be original as you can. You know what I'm saying? And be creative and take pride in knowing that you put in the work to get to this point. You know what I'm saying? And get this creative. And that's pretty much it, man.
Man, that's dope. That's dope. I encourage y'all to get San Pedro. My personal favorite song on that album is Trees. I love the whole album, but Trees is some shit that I'm smoking trees to. Is like shit. Man, like the way it built, man, is I personally, man, I appreciate you for what you bring to music, man, and I'm honored to have interviewed you right now because I know where I'm a student of history. Through being a student of history, you can see what's coming, where it's going, and your music is some shit that's gonna be around. It's gonna be around. It's gonna be some shit in 2058. It's gonna be somebody saying, "Hey, John Larry, you heard about this nigga named Jay?" Guarantee you, in 2071, they gonna be playing your shit because it's that classic, it's that good.
I appreciate it, man. For real.
Where can they find you, man? And where can they find all your stuff?
Shit. I tell everybody, man, just follow me on Instagram, JMO the Great, JMO the Great. Shit. Type in Jairus Mozee on Spotify, iTunes. That's JAIRUSMOZEE. You know what I'm saying? I go by my real name when I do my artist shit, Jairus Mozee. You know what I'm saying? But J-Mo is like my nickname. So if anybody ever forget how to say it or whatever, you can always just go to J-Mo. You know what I mean? So yeah, you can find me there. Facebook, I'm on all the shit, man. Everything.
Yeah, I want y'all to share this video and like it. This video is going to be up on the audio of this is going to be up on Spotify and Mixcloud tonight. Yeah, this is dope because, like I said, you're the bridge. You really are the bridge between the 70s and what's coming next, and you're a key component to that. And so I thank you for listening, for being a part of Incense and Ashtrays. It's only my second episode of this particular rendition of my show.
I appreciate you bringing me on here too, because Bobby Rush, dog, that's a legend. That's a fucking legend, bro. I appreciate you bringing me on. You know what I mean? And I appreciate this time you let me speak about my, career and my album, bro. Real talk.
Yeah, we're here because we know real music is alive, and we got to make sure we put it out there. So with these interviews, I'm mixing the old school with the new school because music ain't dead. We just got to find out where it is, and so that's what I'm pushing this show to be, to where people can go in my playlist, to where people can go to find that real sound. And I got some sample packs coming out pretty soon on the drums. I just got into that. So my first pack should be out in the next couple of weeks or something like that.
Man, that's an amazing game to get into. Trust me.
Yeah. So y'all go ahead and look that out on Incense and Ashtrays.
Hey, not to cut you off, Dewan.
Go ahead.
I got a pack too for your listeners. Y'all go on swagsample.com. That's a website that I started to sell, samples and stuff. We got Charlie Burrell on there. We got Jamie Gamble.
Okay.
You know Jamie Gamble.
Yeah.
LA, remember? So we got him. We got packs with him. So we might have to get a pack with you, bro, and do that too. But swagsample.com, y'all, if y'all need some sounds. You know what I mean?
Swagsample.com. And I'm gonna have to get Charlie on here because Charlie a funky motherfucker too. God damn, that nigga good.
Yeah, he a young legend too, man.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is, man. So I appreciate y'all for listening. J-Mo, I'll be in contact, my brother.
Much respect, man.
Much respect. Have a good one.
All right, peace.
Peace.